You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk. Ain't changing my tone, ain't changing my
Hello London, this is Mayor Weddle. Part of these episodes that we're going to be doing is talking with different department heads and just about their departments, exactly what they're doing inside their departments, so we can make sure we're getting factual information out to the public, and also to highlight how important these guys are and what they do inside of our city. So today I'm here with Phillip Rawlings. This is our Public Works Director. Now a lot of people may not know what is the Public Works. What do they do? So Phillip, if you had to tell me or the public, what does Public Works mean? What do you guys do?
Public Works, we handle the street sanitation recycle, but since coming on board, I found out it's a lot bigger animal than that. We handle a lot of stuff with other utilities, with project planning of other entities, and also assisting to help put a lot of those projects in play. There's also a lot of initial planning that we do. Maybe it has a project that we have coming up that we have to reach out to other people. Right-of-way acquisition, checking right-of-ways, trying to make sure that we're in the guidelines of where we should be when we're trying to do work out in the city. We do a lot of events with other departments here. PD, fire, rescue. So we also assist in a lot of things that people normally wouldn't think would be public works. But I think that's another great thing that makes this such a great team of people we have.
I know, like you guys, the Chicken Festival, you guys do a lot of work before, during, and then after. People see these streets cleaned up in one night. The next day they wake up, Main Street's open, Broad Street's, all the streets are opened up, they're clean, and you guys are the ones that do that.
Right. The street department guys, they kind of head up the bulk of that. Sanitation also assists, but they get it set up. They set out all the barriers and the cones and sawhorses that would be needed for that. And then every night after everybody's gone home, all those guys come in around 11 o'clock and they totally clean everything from top to bottom each and every night. So yeah, those guys are just a huge asset and a great group of people.
So when the tornado came through too, you guys were a big help in that, and your team was, and everything that you did in that. But now, what exactly is Public Works doing inside of that FEMA, that work? One thing that and I know that you work very intimately with FEMA and stuff. It's been said that we've gotten FEMA money for the city. I wish we had. We've spent quite a bit of money, but we've received zero FEMA dollars as of right now. But what exactly are you guys doing currently inside that tornado work?
Right now, we're still cleaning up a lot of the vegetation out at the fairgrounds. Still got some time left to do on that. We haven't received any FEMA reimbursement, and that's still going to be some time before that's done. But from within days of the tornado happening, we've started logging everything, man hours, equipment, all of that stuff, and we've had really good feedback from Kentucky Emergency Management, from the FEMA people, and the amount of records that we've kept and how we've done that. I actually have also even spoke with some other city entities in the state that's encountered tornadoes, and they were very impressed with just, like the QR codes and stuff we put out for volunteers and our work too. And they felt like, and so do I as well, that because we jumped on the record keeping so early, that we should see a little faster turnaround than most. One gentleman that I did speak with that runs another city here close, I think he said it took them about a year, maybe a little longer, to get any reimbursement started back in. But we've got really good records on this. Brandon Wagers, he's also helped a lot on that. So we work close with them. We've got a meeting actually tomorrow to meet with them at the the old meal at the park. And that there itself is going to be a different animal. As you know, we've talked about it numerous times with it being a waterway. There's a lot of protocol we've had to take, and other organizations we've had to work with into doing this and doing it correctly, and also following their guidelines.
Yeah, so I mean that's where you know it's important to do videos like this is let the public know. You know, a lot of misconception, a lot of things people say about, hey, what have they done with all that FEMA money? Well, we've not gotten any FEMA money, you know, and it's never been about the money for any of us. The first night that this happened, you were out with me, and you know, nobody had money on their mind. We just loved the people here, and that was the only focus any of us had.
Yep.
You know, and even the days after, nobody was concerned about no money or what FEMA was going to do or what they was not going to do. And matter of fact, we had first thought, and you know, maybe a week after this, that there wasn't going to be no FEMA assistance in this at all. Yeah. And we were operating under that premise.
Right.
So it's good to know the team that we have. You know, you mentioned Brandon Wagers working with you guys and that's the team that we've built here in the city. And everybody, when it comes crunch time or needing to get things done, when you mentioned the tourism events that you guys do, it's a multi-agency thing, whether it's the public works or fire department, police, it's everybody coming together to help tourism pull these events off and make sure it's done in a clean, safe manner. So I'm very proud of that, your team and everything you guys are doing. So all the sidewalks that we're seeing updated in the city, you guys are doing that work.
Yeah, it's something I guess I've always said. I like to have a tool belt that has more than 10 hammers on it. You know, you need a measuring tape and a pencil, and the more we can do in-house saves the taxpayers. We can get more work done. We can stretch our dollar out a lot further. And we're blessed. We've got a lot of guys that have multiple trade skills that are working for us now. And you know, they take pride in their work. They like to do their project, and you know, maybe even drive their family by on the weekend after they're off work and say, hey, you know, we did that. And you know, a lot of those guys, they don't do social media, but they like to see praise. You know, they like to see somebody noticing what they did. It gives them a little extra power to go on days maybe they just don't feel the best or whatever, but they show up, show out, and they just continue to keep laying projects down. And
so when we talk about seeing a project get done in the city, you know, whether it was Mill Street Bridge, there's a lot of before that happens. There's a lot of things happening before, and you talked about right-of-ways. I know when we come in, there was no map that told us what our right-of-ways was. So you've had a lot of work there, right?
Yeah, we've really tried to build this up and make sure we keep really good records. I like to have any new projects that go. We like to get a survey with kind of a description of, you know, what we're taking in as right away with the city. So people after us, you know, they're going to have a little bit better guidance than what we had maybe coming in. It's terribly hard. You know, you get somebody that wants something done, and you'll spend countless hours sometimes if there's no good documentation to try to figure out, well, is it on the city or is it on the private city, you know, the person at the residence. So, you know, sometimes that can entail in a lot of time. Because
one thing we want to make sure we're not doing is spending, you know, government funds on private property.
Absolutely.
And so you have to put the footwork in to decide whether or not that, you know, that's city property or, you know, private residence. I know one of the biggest things we both challenged was these walls throughout the city. You know, a lot of people felt like, you know, the city should fix that. And, you know, again, if we didn't have the proper right-of-way or it wasn't on city property, we couldn't invest that money to do that. So, you know, there's a lot of behind-the-scene things happening before that ground ever gets broke, whether we're updating a bridge. So, like, could you tell us a little bit about, so let's say we're going to fix this bridge. What are some of the things you'll do before that ever happens?
Oftentimes, I will go to either the courthouse, but now I use the online thing, and I'll check and see if there's any kind of easement for a certain road, if there's any kind of deed, if it was ever deeded to the city. You know, we have general provisions now that's been put in place through like the ordinance where, like, if the street's top deck, which is what we call the roadway, if it's a certain width, then we've got a certain right of way that we just that we assume in the city. We'll do that. We'll also get with the local utilities and, you know, see if there's something maybe they need to do. And a lot of that comes from, you know, my time when I was at the utility commission. Good planning will help everybody look better. So oftentimes if we're going to pave a street, I'll reach out to them and say, hey, what's the condition of your water line you have here? Are you needing to do any work before we pave? Because it makes everybody look bad if they have a deteriorated water line and then we pave it and then 2 weeks later they've got a water leak and they're having to install the new street. So I have to say, especially since you've came on, you've really spearheaded that and saw that vision to where we can kind of go in and do full infrastructure upgrade and have everything up nice and fresh and operational.
We have some really big projects that we've been working on, and I've seen some muttering online about, hey, well, what about that project? One of them's North Main, our sidewalk project, getting that up done. Let's talk about that for a few minutes. Where are we at in that? What's happening inside that? Can we talk about that for just a second?
On that project, that's a really big project. It's very much needed. I myself run and walk a lot on Main Street, for recreation. There's a lot of, places that need attention, but also, we want to get it ADA compliant. So when we got the original grant, we've went through it now and got I think about 99% of the design is done, but it's a little bit different with this being a state highway here in town. We've got to get some right-of-way that the city's going to have to get outside of what the state already has. So the state's worked great with us on that, and then also in doing so, we're trying to do this project to align with how the state is kind of doing a lot of their work. So when we get it done, it's not going to need redone. It's going to be, hopefully we can move to the other side and start that one once this one's complete. But the design phase of it is pretty well done. I think moving forward, we're going to have to try to, get some more money and get it into the construction part of it. But as you know, we're progressing that way. So.
And that's one thing we learned in this project is that we didn't have enough right-of-way space going up North Main Street. We did actually a town center hall meeting down here, talking to the residents and owners that own property up through North Main, because we have to purchase that more land to be able to get it ADA compliant that you spoke of. And once this project's done, hopefully with all the funding, we'll be able to do both sides of the street. We initially talked about one, but we're hoping to secure more funding to get both sides. So it's been a right-of-way issue, and then on top of that, we had to finish the designs out. And I do know there's a lot of utility work that's going to be done up in that section as well, right?
Yep. Yeah, and another thing is a lot of that, the particular side we're working on, there's sections that doesn't have any sidewalk for 1,500 feet or more. That's going to be new construction. Those tend to be a little easier, but where we're going back now, we're dealing with old stuff, having to take it out. A good example is at Reuben Street, where there's several roads that come in. It would be really hard for them to make that sidewalk ADA compliant. And for people that don't know, you have restrictions on the slope from left to right, say, and north to south. You have restrictions on that, and then also you have to put in what they call ADA pavers. They're like a dimpled, textured thing that helps people that maybe they're blind when they're walking, let them know they're at a crosswalk. So it's not as easy as it sounds. You just not just cut dry and put it into place. There's a lot of red tape that you have to go to, especially where we got grant money. We have to make sure that we're dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. So.
Yeah, and that's going to be a beautiful project. We was going up there a couple of weeks ago. I had seen an elderly gentleman actually on the McDonald's side going through the grass with a walker, and I'm like, it was just a reminder, that we've got to get this project done and the importance of it, making sure that our seniors or kids or whatever has a good clean path to navigate to essential places like Kroger.
Yeah.
And we have the palace that's up there now too, and it would just really benefit the community to get that done. So we've got some other projects that's currently in the workings. One of the things I know is North Mill Street. What exactly are we doing on North Mill?
At North Mill, up what was formerly known as Kearns, past it, there's a bridge structure down there that I think it was built like in 1954. Of course, there's no engineering plans or anything. There's no weight load that we know of that's that could be assigned to that. So we've applied for some emergency money that we've got. We're going to redo the bridge structure, redo the wing walls. We've got up with the gas company. They're going to need to do a little relocation there so we can make the bridge a little wider, and then also they're going to get their line down out of the stream. We're also working with London Utility as well, who has a water line there. So we're going to try to take care of all that in one deal while we're in there, and also with getting those utility lines down, that removes them. They're in the flow of the stream, so they tend to catch debris. And so if you start getting, debris backed up, it starts to wash around the structure and different things, and it can cause trouble. So while we're in there, we're going to get all those lowered, get a more natural flow line, and then increase the width of the bridge. And then the actual street, we're going to, for the most part, we're going to widen it about a foot all the way through there.
And it's much needed.
Oh yeah.
You're traveling through there, that's a narrow road. We have done, I think, at this point, over 36 roads in the time that we've been here, which is amazing. Mm-hmm. And that can't go just to me. It goes to this entire team of the work that you guys put in. And when we see these issues, and we know there's more roads we need to get to. We've talked about next year. Can you talk about more of what we're going to be focusing in the next budget?
Sure, yeah. Next year, we're planning on trying to shift a little bit from not as many street paving. Now, we're still going to pave streets. Mm-hmm. We just probably won't have the number that we had before, because we're going to focus a lot more on sidewalks. I've got out, and as Randy Gay has as well, and we have a very long list of sidewalks that need repair. We've also been getting a grant for the past couple years through Kentucky League of Cities. It's a safety grant, and in that we've been paying a contractor to grind little spots down in the sidewalk that may just be a small, minute trip hazard. They grind those down, smooth those out. They've done some curb repair, and they've repaired some of the ADA paver spots. They have the equipment to do that. That's some of that's out of we just don't have the equipment. But we're going to shift more into the sidewalks, because there's a lot of sidewalks in London. There's actually needs to be more. You talk about this when we're out. There's some places that people just don't have a sidewalk. There's not a sidewalk there to access, and crosswalks. We need to do some more work on crosswalks as well. We just were discussing the other day when we were out, kind of checking things out about maybe trying to get some flashing lights at some of these that, similar to say a Gatlinburg, if somebody's in the crosswalk, get attention so people will slow down and let them cross, because it's hard to get across Main Street at times, and you're not always at a red light. So. Yeah,
and that's something that we've talked to the transportation. People don't realize this, but that's a federal highway, so we have to go to the state. And, we've talked to them about, helping us in different little locations, getting more crosswalks in, caution lights, or something for the pedestrians crossing these streets. And I think that's important in this message that we put here today, is like, there's not a part of this city me and you've not been on or, drove through since we've been here. And we have got a list of things we know that needs to be done. I've been trying to tell people myself when I'm talking to them that we had to worry about our main arteries. Tourism is doing a fantastic job here, so that there's certain projects they've got going on that we want to help control the pattern, make sure they've got safe sidewalks going to some of the things they're doing. But we hopefully, if we're here for another term, we can continue to finish these projects out. That's much needed. If you look across this city, we do need a lot more sidewalks. We need to repair the ones we have in a lot of these areas, but we need to add some too, and it just takes us time. Right. That's the thing that people, I don't think they understand the most. We don't have enough manpower.
No, and I have to give a huge shout out to Randy Gay, because he's our street operations manager, and he just does an excellent job. They have it down like clockwork. They're putting up Christmas lights right now. We could get a snow this week, and those guys are already ready. They'll roll out with the snow plows. So they're just a very versatile group of people.
I know I got nothing but praise this past snow season about the work that you guys did, and Randy and his team, and and that goes with sanitation. Gilbert's doing a fantastic job down at the recycling center. And that's the thing. It's taken us some time to build this amazing team and getting the people in the right spots to move the city forward. And that's what you guys are doing. And I'm proud as the mayor and just as a citizen here that the work that you guys put in. I see the passion in your eyes every day. The citizens maybe not get to see that. I do. And, it's one thing that you call somebody up and say, hey, we need to get on this. And it's not a dread. It's like, it's the joy that we're making some big changes here in London. And we do it as a team.
Yep, absolutely. We love what we do. All the way down the line, everybody is always excited. Sometimes it'll seem monotonous when these guys have been out plowing for 3 or 4 days in a row, but even on that, just last year we purchased the salt brine thing, so now we've got the ability. Randy himself actually
the pre-treatment.
He pre-treats the hills, the problematic areas. So we try to jump on that, but. When we say team, it's not just the public works department, street sanitation. I mean, the team concept goes PD, rescue, fire, city hall. All you have to do is, if you need some help, is just ask, and somebody is always willing to help. And I think that sets precedence. That's what's unique. That's what I've never seen personally, being somebody that's worked in this city for 26 years, seeing everybody just come together. I mean, you can just get on the phone and say, hey, I could call the PD. Can you guys assist? We got a issue going on. Can we get a couple units over there to kind of get some lights to grab some attention? They're there within minutes. So the team thing is huge to me. Being an old athlete, worn out, but the team concept's still there. So.
And that's something that I try to put out to people when I'm talking to them. They'll say, "You're doing an amazing job, Mayor," and okay, but I'd rather my team get that. One of the things we implemented when we come into office was the round table meeting that we do with all department heads. So all the ideals from everybody, every department that gets implemented, and it's the ideals being crossed out at that table saying, hey, I think we should do this. And so, again, that's what is making so many things move forward in this city. There is some, strain. There is some, negative stuff, but we don't focus on that. We don't let that come into our daily job. And I don't think what, people are seeing out of one meeting out of a month, you're not seeing that in your department, that it has really any big effect.
No, we just carry on and do our job. I mean, that's what we're here to do. And you've often told us, many times, that you just have to keep doing your work. You can't let things trotting you down or bog you down because, maybe one person's not happy, but there's 10 others that are tickled to death. So, if you're trying to wage your work or what you're going to do on that, or just on approval all the time, you're never going to get anywhere. So.
Yeah. And
we can go back to Orville when we were right. People probably thought they were stupid when they first tried trying to fly the airplane, but you saw what come of it. So
yeah, and that's the amazing. This is a resilient team. We've had some trying times politically, but the work that's being done, it shows people that we're not into the politics as much as we are getting the work done that the citizens and the taxpayers here, what they want done, what they need done, and what they've been wanting to see done. So we're proud of your team, Phillip. Is there anything else that maybe you would like to tell the public, that maybe about the public works or anything like that, maybe that they don't know?
No, I'll just say, we have a lot of people call in with issues and stuff, and a lot of times when the city page makes posts or people put comments on there, fix this hole, fix that hole, we welcome that. I mean, I keep notes on it. Oftentimes I may even call you and ask you if somebody has reached out to you with any issues, and if they have, we keep it down. I mean, I have to say, we're the type of people that when we say, hey, we're putting it on a list and we're slowly chopping away. Some days we'll get 10 things done we wanted, and some days we may get 2, but we're continuously working on it. But I think me and you both, we want to leave it better than we found it, and we know we're not going to be here forever. So, I try to plan 15 years in advance, and I know you're the same way. We want We won't pass this on when it's time for us to step away or go do something else. We want it to be in great shape to where people could just pick it up and follow the directions and go with it.
Yeah, that's right. London, this is going to be several series that we do talking about different department heads and what they're doing, what their team's doing. We hope that you enjoy these little series. It gives you a better look into what's happening internally in the city and what's happening inside these departments. We have an amazing team inside this city, and it's not because of what I do, it's what these guys do on Public Works, Fire, Police, and you know, it's an amazing team that we have here at City Hall. You couldn't ask for a better group of people, and we want to make sure that we're highlighting them and their department heads and the things that they do. London, as always, we're going to continue to keep building London to be the biggest, brightest city in the Southeast Kentucky. We're going to continue to move it forward. Let's keep everything we can in the positive note, and let's not stay focused on the negative. There's so many great things happening in London. That's what we need to be focused on. All the great update, the infrastructure, the tourism, the many great events that they're holding, to the brick and mortar that they're purchasing, we're moving forward. And that's exactly what I was elected to do, was move this city forward. As always, London, we thank you. We appreciate all the support you give this office. Thank you.
You can kick rocks if you don't like how I talk. I'm gonna keep on talking and walk my walk.